In the very early history of Sri Lanka, long before the first metal coins were ever minted or used, the people of the island conducted their daily trade in a much simpler, more direct way. This system, known as barter, was the foundation of the ancient economy. People did not use money as we understand it today. Instead, they exchanged goods and services directly with one another. A farmer with a surplus of rice could trade his grains for clay pots made by a local potter. A fisherman with a large catch could swap his fish for tools crafted by a blacksmith. This method relied entirely on a mutual understanding of value, where both parties in the exchange had to agree that what they were receiving was worth what they were giving away. The items used for barter were diverse and reflected the natural wealth of the island. Rice, being the staple food, was perhaps the most common medium of exchange for everyday transactions. A certain measure of rice could be traded for vegetables, fruits, or even simple textiles. For more valuable exchanges, other prized items came into play. Beautiful cowrie shells, collected from the warm ocean waters, were used as a form of currency, not just in Sri Lanka but across many parts of the ancient world. Their small size, durability, and uniform shape made them convenient for counting and trading. The island was also famous for its precious gemstones, like sapphires and rubies, which were used for high-value trades, especially with foreign merchants. This system of barter, while functional for small local communities, had its limitations. The main challenge was what economists call the double coincidence of wants. This means that for a trade to happen, both individuals had to have exactly what the other person desired at that exact moment. For example, a farmer wanting to trade rice for a new plow had to find a blacksmith who not only had a plow to spare, but also needed rice. If the blacksmith needed salt instead, the farmer would first have to find someone with salt who wanted rice, and then take that salt to the blacksmith. This made transactions complicated and inefficient, especially as trade grew more complex. As society developed and trade networks expanded beyond small villages, the need for a more standardized and convenient medium of exchange became increasingly clear. The barter system was slow and cumbersome for large-scale commerce, or for paying soldiers and state officials. People needed something that was easily divisible, portable, and held a consistent, recognized value. This growing need for a better system paved the way for the eventual introduction of coinage. The transition from trading rice and shells to using pieces of metal marked a significant evolution in the island's economic and social structure, setting the stage for the first currencies to appear. Sri Lanka's strategic location in the Indian Ocean has been a defining feature of its history for millennia. Positioned squarely in the middle of ancient maritime trade routes, the island acted as a vital hub connecting the East and the West. Ships sailing from the Roman Empire and the Arabian Peninsula in the west would meet traders coming from China and Southeast Asia in the east, and Sri Lanka was the perfect meeting point. Its natural harbors offered safe anchorage for ships needing to restock supplies, repair their vessels, or wait for the monsoon winds to change direction. This geographical advantage meant that the island was never isolated. It was a bustling crossroads of cultures, ideas, and most importantly, goods. Ancient traders were not just passing by. They were drawn to the island by the legendary treasures it offered. The Greeks and Romans knew it as Taprobane, a mythical land of immense wealth. They came seeking the island's world-renowned gemstones, especially its deep blue sapphires, rubies, and moonstones. They also desired its exotic spices, such as cinnamon, cloves, and black pepper, which were highly valued in Europe for flavoring food and for use in medicines. Pearls harvested from the Gulf of Mannar were another major attraction, famed for their size and luster. In return for these precious goods, foreign merchants brought items that were rare or unavailable in Sri Lanka, creating a vibrant international marketplace. Many different groups of naval traders made their way to Sri Lanka's shores. From the west came the Romans, whose presence is confirmed by the discovery of thousands of Roman coins across the island. They brought with them gold, silver, fine glassware, and wine. Following them were traders from the Persian and Aksumite empires, and later from the Arabian Peninsula, who dominated the sea lanes for centuries. From the east, merchants from South India, particularly the powerful Pandya and Chola kingdoms, were frequent visitors and had deep cultural and political ties with the island. Further east, ships from China sailed to Sri Lanka, seeking its gems and bringing back silks, ceramics, and other manufactured goods. The arrival of these foreign traders had a profound impact on the local economy and society. They introduced new goods, new technologies, and new ideas. Most significantly for our story, they brought with them their own forms of currency, including gold and silver coins. The sight of these standardized valuable metal discs must have been a revelation to the local population, who were still largely reliant on barter. The regular flow of gold and other precious metals into the island's economy, brought by merchants eager to acquire Sri Lanka's natural treasures, created the perfect conditions for the development of a local coinage system. The island was accumulating wealth, and the need to manage it was growing. The transition from a barter-based economy to one using currency did not happen overnight. It was a gradual process, and the first coins used in Sri Lanka were not made of gold, nor were they even minted by local kings. The earliest forms of metallic money to appear on the island were known as punch-marked coins. These were small, irregularly shaped pieces of silver or copper, and they arrived in Sri Lanka primarily through trade with India, sometime around the 3rd century BCE. Instead of having a single, unified design like modern coins, they were marked with various symbols, stamped onto the metal with small punches. These symbols could include geometric shapes, animals, plants, or celestial bodies, like the sun and moon. These early punch-marked coins were not created by a central government authority in the way we understand it today. Instead, they were likely issued by merchant guilds or local rulers in various parts of India. Each symbol punched onto the coin probably served as a mark of authenticity, representing a particular merchant, a specific city, or a guarantee of the metal's weight and purity. When these coins arrived in Sri Lanka, they were readily adopted by local traders because they offered a convenient solution to the problems of barter. They were portable, durable, and had a recognized value, making it much easier to conduct transactions, especially for larger amounts. The designs on these punch-marked coins were simple yet significant. Common symbols included the sun, a 6-armed symbol, a hill with 3 arches, a tree and a railing, and various animals like elephants or fish. Each mark was a separate punch, so the coins often looked cluttered with overlapping symbols. While these were foreign in origin, their widespread use in Sri Lanka is evident from the large hoards of them that have been discovered by archaeologists in ancient trading centers like Anuradhapura and Tisamaharama. Their presence shows that by this time, the island's economy was sophisticated enough to require and support a system of metallic currency for its flourishing trade. The use of these early silver and copper coins set an important precedent. It familiarized the people of Sri Lanka with the concept of money and the use of metal as a medium of exchange. Although they were not a local creation, they laid the essential groundwork for the island's own numismatic history. The punch-marked coins demonstrated the efficiency and power of a standardized currency, creating a demand that would eventually lead Sri Lankan rulers to mint their own coins. The stage was now set for the next evolution in currency, moving from foreign silver and copper to a more precious and powerful metal gold. While punch-marked silver and copper coins were used for everyday transactions, a more valuable metal soon made its appearance in Sri Lanka's markets: gold. The first gold coins to circulate on the island were not local, but were brought by powerful international traders from 2 great empires, the Roman Empire in the west and the Kushan Empire in Central Asia and northern India. Beginning around the 1st century CE, Roman trade in the Indian Ocean intensified dramatically. Roman merchants, sailing with the monsoon winds, brought vast quantities of gold and silver coins to pay for the luxury goods they craved, such as Sri Lankan gems, pearls, and spices. Archaeological discoveries across Sri Lanka have unearthed numerous Roman gold coins, known as the aureus, and silver coins, the denarius. These coins, bearing the portraits of Roman emperors like Augustus, Nero, and Vespasian, have been found in ancient ports and trading posts, providing clear evidence of a strong and direct commercial link. The Romans did not trade these coins because they wanted Sri Lankans to adopt their currency. They simply used them as a convenient form of bullion. Gold was a universally accepted store of value, and the weight and purity of Roman coins were trusted. For Sri Lankan merchants and elites, these foreign gold coins represented immense wealth and prestige. At the same time, another major power, the Kushan Empire, was leaving its mark. The Kushans controlled a vast territory that included key parts of the Silk Road, and they too minted a significant gold coinage. Kushan gold coins, which often depicted their kings alongside a variety of deities from Greek, Iranian, and Indian traditions, also found their way to Sri Lanka through overland and maritime trade routes. These coins, similar in weight and purity to the Roman aureus, further accustomed the local population to the idea of gold as a standard of high-value exchange. The presence of both Roman and Kushan gold coins shows that Sri Lanka was a key player in a globalized ancient economy. The influence of these foreign gold coins was profound. They not only injected a great deal of precious metal into the local economy, but also introduced a new standard of what a high-value coin should look like. The practice of putting a ruler's image or symbol on a coin, and the standardized weight and fine quality of the gold, would later inspire Sri Lanka's own rulers. As local kingdoms, particularly the Anuradhapura kingdom, grew in power and wealth, they saw the strategic advantage of issuing their own currency. Having a unique local gold coin was a powerful statement of sovereignty, economic independence, and royal authority. The era of foreign gold had paved the way for a truly Sri Lankan gold coin to be born. After centuries of using foreign coins and, local copper pieces, Sri Lanka finally began to mint its own official gold coin. This monumental step in the island's economic history occurred during the later period of the Anuradhapura kingdom, primarily between the 7th and 10th centuries CE. This new coin was called the Kahavanu. The name itself, derived from the ancient Pali and Sanskrit word, referred to a specific weight standard. The gold Kahavanu was not just a piece of currency. It was, honestly, a powerful symbol of the kingdom's prosperity, stability, and independence. It marked a moment when Sri Lankan rulers felt confident enough in their wealth and authority to issue a high-value currency that could stand alongside the foreign gold coins that had circulated for so long. The gold Kahavanu was crafted with care and precision. It was typically made of high-quality gold, often alloyed with a small amount of silver or copper to increase its durability. The standard weight of a full Kahavanu was approximately 4.4 grams, a standard that was likely influenced by earlier Indian and Roman weight systems. This standardization was crucial, as it ensured that each coin had a reliable and consistent value, making it trustworthy for large and important transactions. In addition to the full Kahavanu, fractional denominations were also minted, including the, which is a half, a quarter, and the 1/8, allowing for more flexibility in trade. The appearance of the Kahavanu was distinct and uniquely Sri Lankan, moving away from the portrait-style coins of the Romans. The coins were die-struck, a method where a design is impressed onto a blank metal disc, or flan, with a hammer and a die. This process often resulted in coins that were not perfectly circular, and the designs were sometimes off-center, giving each coin a slightly unique character. The surface of the coin was not smooth and polished like modern currency. Instead, it had a granular, slightly rough texture, which is why these coins are sometimes referred to as lotus-type or pala-type coins due to their granulated surface. The creation of the Kahavanu was a deliberate act of statecraft. By minting their own gold coins, the kings of Anuradhapura were sending a clear message to their own people and to the world. It showed that the kingdom was a sovereign power with a strong, centrally managed economy. It provided a reliable currency for paying high-ranking officials, funding large-scale construction projects like monasteries and irrigation tanks, and conducting international trade on their own terms. The gold Kahavanu was more than just money. It was the embodiment of a golden age of Sri Lankan power and culture, a treasure that represented the pinnacle of the Anuradhapura kingdom's achievements. The design of the gold Kahavanu is, honestly, one of its most fascinating features, carrying deep symbolic meaning that really reflects the culture and beliefs of the time. The coin's front, or obverse, is dominated by a highly stylized standing figure. This figure is believed to be a representation of Kuvera, the god of wealth in Hindu and Buddhist mythology, or perhaps a king in the guise of a deity. The figure is shown wearing a traditional dhoti, with his left arm raised and holding a lotus flower or a stalk of grain, which symbolizes prosperity and abundance. His right arm is extended downwards towards a group of small spheres or dots, which are thought to represent a vessel of riches or coins, further emphasizing the theme of wealth. The reverse side, or back, of the coin continues this rich symbolism. It features the same figure, but this time in a seated or squatting position on a low stool or a throne. The figure again holds a symbolic object in its raised left hand, reinforcing the message of prosperity. To the right of the figure, written vertically in Nagari script, an ancient script that was a precursor to modern Devanagari, is the name of the issuing king. For example, coins from the reign of King Vijayabahu I would bear his name. This inclusion of the ruler's name was a crucial element, as it directly linked the coin's authority and value to the reigning monarch, making it a clear assertion of royal power. Every element on the Kahavanu was carefully chosen. The standing and seated figures, while stylized to the point of being abstract, were instantly recognizable symbols of power and wealth. The lotus, a flower deeply significant in Buddhism and local culture, represented purity, creation, and prosperity. The Nagari script, used for the king's name, connected the coin to the broader cultural and literary traditions of South Asia. The overall design was not just decorative, it was a compact piece of official communication, conveying a message of a stable, prosperous kingdom under the authority of a divine or royally sanctioned figure. This unique abstract style is a hallmark of the Kahavanu and sets it apart from the realistic portraits found on Roman coins or the complex divine scenes on Kushan coins. The Sri Lankan artisans who created the dies for these coins developed a local artistic tradition that was both elegant and powerful. The design was so successful and well recognized that it was copied and adapted for centuries, even by later rulers and foreign invaders. This enduring design language speaks to the cultural impact of the Kahavanu, which became the archetypal image of money and wealth in Sri Lanka for a very long time. The Gold Kahavanu was not a coin for the common person or for everyday market purchases. Its high value, derived from its gold content, meant that it was reserved for the upper echelons of society and for transactions of great significance. The primary users of the Kahavanu were the royal court and the state. Kings used these gold coins to pay their most important officials, such as ministers, generals, and provincial governors. It was a prestigious form of payment that befitted their high status. The state also used the Kahavanu to finance major public works, including the construction of the massive stupas, those Buddhist monuments, ornate monasteries, and the sophisticated irrigation reservoirs, or wiwas, that were really the backbone of the island's agricultural economy. Another major use of the Kahavanu was in international trade. While foreign merchants might still bring their own currencies, the existence of a local, high-quality gold coin gave Sri Lankan traders a powerful tool. They could use the Kahavanu to purchase luxury goods from foreign ships, such as fine silks from China or high-quality horses from Arabia. It was a statement of economic equality, showing that the kingdom was not just a supplier of raw materials, but a sophisticated trading partner. Hoards of Kahavanu coins found in ancient port cities attest to their important role in the island's bustling maritime commerce, where large sums of money were needed to secure valuable cargo. The religious establishment, particularly the powerful Buddhist monasteries, was also a major holder and user of gold coins. Kings and wealthy nobles often made large donations to monasteries in the form of gold kahavanus. These donations, recorded in stone inscriptions, were made to gain spiritual merit and to ensure the monastery had the resources to support its community of monks and maintain its buildings. The monasteries, in turn, became major economic centers, owning vast tracts of land and accumulating significant wealth. They would use this wealth, including their stores of Kahavanu coins, to manage their estates, commission religious art, and sometimes even act as lenders. Finally, the Kahavanu served as a store of wealth for the island's elite. Wealthy merchants, landowners, and aristocrats would have accumulated these gold coins as a secure and portable form of their riches. Unlike land, gold coins could be easily hidden, transported, or used in emergencies. They were a symbol of status and financial security. For these reasons, the Kahavanu circulated within a relatively small but powerful segment of the population. It was the currency of kings, merchants, and monks, representing the pinnacle of economic power and prestige in the golden age of the Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa kingdoms. The golden age of the Kahavanu, which flourished under the later Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa kings, eventually came to an end. The decline of this iconic gold coin was tied to the broader political and economic changes that swept across the island. Starting in the 13th century, a series of invasions from South India, internal conflicts, and shifts in climate led to the decline of the great northern kingdoms. The capital city moved southward multiple times, and the centralized power that had once supported the minting of a standardized gold currency began to weaken. As the kingdoms fragmented, their ability to control gold sources and maintain a sophisticated minting operation diminished. As a result, the quality and production of gold coins began to decline. Later versions of the Kahavanu, often referred to as masa coins, were typically made of copper or debased gold mixed with a large amount of less valuable metals. While they often copied the famous standing and seated figure design of the original Kahavanu, they were of much poorer quality. This shift from gold to copper for high-value currency reflected the troubled economic times. The once thriving irrigation systems fell into disrepair, trade routes shifted, and the state no longer had the immense wealth it once commanded. The currency of the island mirrored its changing fortunes. The arrival of European colonial powers, starting with the Portuguese in the 16th century, marked the final end of Sri Lanka's indigenous coinage era. The Portuguese, followed by the Dutch and then the British, were primarily interested in controlling the island's trade for their own benefit. They introduced their own currencies to facilitate their commercial and administrative activities. The Portuguese brought their reals, the Dutch introduced their stuivers and riksdollars, and the British eventually established the rupee, which became the standard currency of the island. These colonial currencies gradually replaced the local systems of exchange. By the time the British consolidated their control over the entire island in the 19th century, the era of the Kahavanu and its successors was firmly a thing of the past. The old coins were no longer in circulation and were relegated to the status of historical artifacts. The new economic order, integrated into a global British empire, had its own financial systems and monetary policies. The decline of the Gold Kahavanu and its replacement by colonial currencies was more than just a monetary change. It symbolized the loss of political and economic sovereignty that the island experienced during this period. The coin that had once been a proud symbol of independence was now a relic of a bygone era. Today, centuries after it last passed from hand to hand in a bustling market or royal court, the Gold Kahavanu holds a place of immense importance in Sri Lanka. Its value is no longer measured by its gold content, but by what it represents. For historians and archaeologists, the Kahavanu is a priceless primary source, a tangible link to the island's magnificent past. Each coin is a small piece of history that tells a story of the kingdom that minted it, the king whose name it bears, and the economic system in which it circulated. Studying these coins helps researchers understand the timeline of Sri Lankan kings, the extent of their power, and the health of the economy during their reign. The Kahavanu is also a powerful symbol of national heritage and cultural identity. Its unique and iconic design, the stylized standing and seated figures, has become synonymous with a golden age of Sri Lankan civilization. It represents a time of great artistic, architectural, and technological achievement, when the island was a respected and sovereign power on the world stage. The coin's imagery, deeply rooted in local and Buddhist symbolism, speaks to a rich cultural tradition. As such, the Kahavanu is often featured in museum exhibits, history books, and cultural displays, serving as a proud reminder of the island's ancient glory and ingenuity. Furthermore, the coin embodies the three great pillars of the ancient Sri Lankan state: royal power, the Buddhist faith, and international trade. The king's name on the coin is a direct assertion of royal authority. The symbols, like the lotus, and the vast temple treasures it was part of, connected to the central role of Buddhism in society. Its very existence as a high-value gold piece is a testament to the island's lucrative position in global trade networks. The Kahavanu is therefore not just an economic artifact, but a cultural one, encapsulating the core elements that define the classical civilization of Sri Lanka. In conclusion, the story of the Gold Kahavanu is the story of Sri Lanka itself. From the early days of barter to its emergence as a hub of international commerce, and from the rise of powerful kingdoms to their eventual decline, the island's history is reflected in this small, precious object. The Kahavanu stands as a testament to the wealth, power, and sophisticated culture of the Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa periods. It is a legacy cast in gold, a durable symbol of a proud history that continues to inspire and inform the Sri Lankan people today. Its enduring importance lies not in its monetary worth, but in its invaluable role as a keeper of memory and a beacon of national heritage.